Welcome to Marketing Game Changer Secrets, where you will learn from one of the top leaders in the network marketing industry. Teresa Harding has grown her team to over millions of people. She's grown online, she's grown offline, she's grown organically, and she is ready to show you the secrets. She's ready to change the way you think. She truly cares about the success of her team and the people that she teaches. So get ready to learn the tips, tricks, and secrets that will allow you to grow a successful business in the 21st century.
I'm Teresa Harding, and this is Marketing Game Changer Secrets. This podcast is for people who know that this industry is not about the network marketer anymore. It's about the people we serve and the change we can make in other people's lives. It's about the entrepreneur inside each of us who is trying to find our voice. It's for the people who want to change the world and are looking for the most powerful way to make that happen. Welcome back, you guys. Teresa Harding here on our Marketing Game Changer Secrets podcast. So excited to have you here today. Today, actually, our episode, I'm really actually kind of embarrassed about. And this is me being real with you guys, and this is why I'm going to share this with you. Because I learned kind of an embarrassing lesson today about how it's really important that we need to be willing to look at the ways that business is changing. The ways that business changes in our industry and other industries, and how that works and how it affects the way we need to be running our business. So I just want you to think about, are we really humble enough to look at the ways things are changing and go that direction? And I've mentioned in some of my trainings before, this is a good example. It's with Kodak. Kodak used to be the biggest name in photography and film. And when they had the opportunity to start looking at possibly going digital, because digital was becoming the new thing, well, they looked at it and they decided, no, it's not gonna fly. We're not going there. And the companies that did go digital have grown huge and gone massive, and Kodak has become a much lower level player in the whole industry and in that game. So what I want to talk about today is how we really, really need to watch, keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on in our industry. And we need to see the changes. And one of the changes that is happening in our lifetime is the whole online thing. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care if you're in your 50s or if you're a millennial. You are going to see major changes, and you've already seen major changes. For people who are in the older category, you've seen a lot of changes where businesses are doing so much more online. And, it used to be so much more in person and phone calling and those kinds of things. Now it's all about trying to target you where you're looking online and the things you click on online. Well, with millennials, it's easy to feel like, oh, dude, we're the new up and coming generation. And so now, we know what's up. This is what's going to happen. But the reality is you're going to see some major changes. You're going to have, your kids are going to be saying to you, oh my goodness, you had to click on it on the computer, or you had to click on it on your phone. It wasn't embedded in your ear. Okay, I'm kidding. But there are going to be such major changes that your kids are going to look at what you are doing today and go, oh my goodness, are you kidding? That's crazy that you had to do it that way. Or that's crazy that that's the way businesses used to do it. So you've got to know what's going on. And part of the problem is a lot of people think, oh, that's so much hard work. It's so hard to make sure that I'm on top of stuff, that I'm aware of every little thing that's going on. No, if you're involved in your business, you're going to see what's going on. You'll be aware of things. For example, I might be super focused on a training that I'm creating or content that I'm putting together for my people on my team, or I'm working on recruiting, or I'm working on helping, build my business in whatever way that I'm focused on. And then when I'm kind of finished with that project, because there's a time and a season, then I go into maybe a little bit of management mode for a minute, and I start working with my leaders to make sure that while I was focused on action item B over here, the stuff that they needed over here in quadrant A that got a little bit neglected, let's kind of take care of those things. And as I start to do that, I start to become aware of some things that I realize, wow, there are some new trainings. There are new ways that psychology is looking at this. There are new ways that the industry is doing this. So I'm going to share with you an embarrassing story that just happened actually in our office. We were putting together an email that I need to send out to my team because we're launching a project and it's been super exciting. We've had a huge response. We've had thousands and thousands of people totally getting involved and starting to follow us more because they want to be involved in what we're doing. And so there are some bigger leaders who are coming to me super excited. Will you teach me privately? I want to be involved in this. And then I have some that are kind of concerned. Some that are saying, okay, how is this going to affect my leaders? Is this going to distract my leaders? Because these are big leaders who are on my team, which means their teams are on my team. So I need to be sensitive about that. I need to care about that. And I have some leaders who are both. They're really excited, but they also have concerns. So they want to be heard. So I'm putting together this email. I'm having one of my employees help me with it, and he's done a fabulous job with it. And as we're looking through it, he kind of finished up the final draft. We were looking through it, and I said, Kate, this is awesome. And I love it. And, I'd written some of the paragraphs myself. He wrote up some stuff, and then we put it together. So he's done a phenomenal job. And I gave him outlines of what I wanted. I kind of was testing him actually to see how his writing skills were, and it was fabulous. So now here we are. We're to the end. We're finished. I'm all excited, getting ready to send the email out. And I said, okay, I love it, except I said everywhere there's an end of a sentence, whether it's a period or a question mark, it's way easier to read if there are two spaces. So it started this whole debate about whether or not it should be two spaces or one space. And I said, I know that people are now saying, oh, brother, yeah, the hot new thing is to do one space. And so we totally need to do one space to be cool and hip. And I said, okay, so this is the deal. I asked one of my other employees, I said, okay, look it up. I want you to look up online and see what the trend is. What are people saying? Because first, I like to always know what the trend is, and then I always like to know, but what's official? What are the official English, documentation saying that this is the new standard? So first, we're looking that up, and it was so embarrassing. So one of the very first titles on Google that came up said, nothing says over 40 like two spaces after a period. And I thought, so everybody got a great kick out of that. I thought, are you kidding me? So we looked up that, and most of the articles talked about how it should be one space. There were just a couple that said, yes, it's easier to read with two spaces, and we checked dates. And then I said, okay, now I want the official research. I want to know from official documentation what the legitimate answer is. And so we found out that actually there are several organizations that are considered the top in our country, at least, where they cover that information and they talk about what the standard is, what the accepted standard is. And because there are some rules in English, for example, that you can do one way or the other, equally accepted, or there might be two ways to do it and one is more accepted than the other. And in some cases, there are two ways to do it that one is not really the accepted way. So we discovered that yes, one space is actually accurate. Bugs me a little bit. And it was funny because they said, so the two-space thing, when we were debating it before we really knew, they were saying, well, the two-space thing is more back with typewriters. Like, that's so old school, which of course it is. And I'm thinking in my mind, no, it isn't. And I thought, I learned that back in my, And I remembered I did learn it in my class when I first started learning. I was typing on a typewriter because our school didn't have anything. They couldn't afford computers at that time. So just be willing. We sometimes change can be hard. Sometimes we're excited about change. And sometimes, I'm someone who loves change, but I still was not okay with that because I am adamant about English and doing it correctly and putting the punctuation in there the right way. I want to make sure that we do it in an educated fashion. Even if I'm speaking, whether I'm speaking professionally, whether I'm speaking at a lower level, the way I might talk with my friends where I say, oh my goodness, you guys, are you kidding me? Okay, so I'm not speaking in a professional manner, but I still want the documentation and the punctuation to be correct. So it's a big deal for me. That's kind of a forte of mine. And so, that bugged me. And they're probably still laughing over there in the other room. So this is what he typed in was, should I do one or two spaces after a period? I'm still bugged that it said nothing says over 40 like. So, all right. So just remember, take this seriously. Be willing to learn. Be willing to move with the waves that come through trending. But be careful not to just go after every little shiny thing. You don't want to just go after every shiny object, but at the same time, be wise. Watch your industry. Be willing to be open to see what's happening. And what we do is we try, like when we see new things coming up, we try them in our marketing, we try some of the different trends, but we don't put a whole lot of resources into it until we check it out and see, and it might take a little while to be tested. So make sure you do that in your business. It's going to make a huge difference for you. I don't care how old or how young you are. Get a grip and be willing to learn the way that's working the best in the industry now, because the ways that used to work the best don't work the best now. But don't lose the beauty of the powerful things that were done in the past that actually still work the best, because sometimes there are some of those too. So keep that in mind. I'd love for you to comment and tell me what this made you think of. The things that you've been embarrassed about, maybe like I was, maybe some of the things that you have changed in your business that you feel like, wow, this has made a big difference for me. The times you opened your mind when you didn't want to, and how it was a good thing that you did. Share with me. Love to hear your comments, and I'll talk to you in the next podcast. Bye.